Welcome to the Childish Grownups Show, where we treat each episode like your movie theater experience. We catch up with one another, play some games, talk previews, and before you know it, it's time for the feature presentation. So sit tight and enjoy this ride of nostalgia on the Childish Grownups Show.
We are back to your favorite day of the week, Wednesdays, where we release our show, The Childish Grownups Show, giving you everything nostalgia, even films. That's what we do here. As y'all have heard the intro, I am Maurice Hunt III. Y'all may know me as Mo, or I may be Morpheus. Who knows? But I am not alone. I am here with my other two agents on this episode, Ash Bash, Mia G. How are you ladies doing?
I'm feeling pretty good. Can't complain.
Same. Feeling good, a little tired, but making it. Ready to get this this little topic going. Get our little category going. I'm excited about it.
Oh yes. You got the last pick this on this rotation, right? All right, okay.
Ooh, got an idea, but I ain't even.
All right, I can't wait till we get there. But we are here for our superhero rotation month for our films, so we're gonna have some fun with that. I had the first pick, which is The Matrix. But before we get there, we like to acknowledge the Stoop Kids. Those are our supporters that rock with us and leave comments. So we tend to not do that on our TGIF episodes because we kind of like to spend more time in that subject and conversation. So there was some stuff that was kind of held back, but now we're here. So first we have a comment from ATL, and this was from Mama C. I think I had posed a question about hold on. You know what? Never mind. That was a different one. But the comment that she left on ATL, she says, "I love this movie. A huge fan of T.I. and trap music. Plus, I'm a skater traveling with a crew going to state skating. We traveled to ATL and went to Cascade for a party. I am enjoying the movie picks." Okay. Shout out to Mama C there, leaving that comment right there. Also, Mama C replied to our TGIF. She said, "Plan on rewatching The Sopranos." Absolutely. Gotta do that. For real. Gotta do that. Our man Public Enemy B responded to our TGIF, and he said something, and I swear I forgot, and it was supposed to make my list, but we'll get there. He says, "I struggle with this one because most of the ones I remember are in the last 10 or so years. I agree. Would have the Degrassi Jimmy getting shot moment, and of course the Fresh Prince, why don't he want me? A moment that wasn't mentioned that I would be Degrassi when JT got stabbed. That was a wild moment." Okay. I don't know. Something was missed here because I know I intended to put that there. And I don't know how it slipped my mind, but I promise you that was supposed to be in my 5. So when he said it, I said, "Oh." That one that might have been the closest to tears I've had. I watched it as a grown man. That might be the closest tear jerker that I've had. Like just the whole build up, the whole, him and let's say Hazel, but him and Liberty, like that whole thing. And man, I still don't know why they did us like that, man. But yeah, anything y'all want to say about that comment from Public Enemy B?
Yeah, that was very sad. It was very random. Like, bro, like that was your go-to. Like it was more shocking, so I didn't even really get to process, for tears. It was I just couldn't believe that he did that. But that definitely can make somebody's list. That was crazy.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm really surprised that it didn't make your list, Mo. Like, I would have really thought that would have been on there hearing him mention it.
Hmm. Yeah, and then even like the memorial and everything after Liberty, the crying. Ah, man, it is really a real jerker. So, and lastly, we got some comments. Of course, Mia G hopped in on the reel that I put out this past Saturday about Mr. Big, Ronald Isley. Listen, so we got quite a few comments on that. I think that might be the highest viewed one that we've had so far, ironically enough. So, of course, Mia G hopped in there talking about don't get it twisted. The Isley brothers are Cincinnati's own, and I was joking with her, talking about I said, give me that Toledo vibe. And she was like, And the only reason I brought it up, I don't know anything about obviously Ohio like that, but I've heard so much between Rich and Ray P how guys be out in Toledo. And that's why I was like, yo, giving that like that real gangster, like watch your mouth type vibe. So yeah, Mia got in there, had to clarify some things. Juice, he hopped in. He said the music was amazing. He really let R. Kelly take his girl in like 4 songs though, and then he said, and let him cheat on his goddaughter. That first ass whooping in the desert ain't stop. uh, Shout out to Juice. Oh, and then lastly, from Peru, mommy, she says he sang while threatening is on spot. So yeah, I was like, he was literally serenading us. Like I couldn't stop singing this song. Like, and I just that morning, Saturday morning, I was like, what the is going on? Like that whole thing, like, and Ash, come on, like, how big of a deal was this song in our house, especially with you and Bub?
Yeah, it was a big deal. Me and our brother Bubba, we stayed doing the duet for sure. That Busted was ours. Like when he did the Busted joint. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we kept singing that around the house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff.
Was you big fan of that run, those songs, Mia?
Of course.
Mm,
I'm the Isley brothers in general, but Mr. Big when he had his little, saying, unstoppable, legendary.
yeah. And yeah, he was like I said, very scary. Like that for me, he was like I really believed him. And he even played like gangster on the Jamie Foxx show when Mary J. Blige was his daughter on there. He was like a old pimp to become a preacher or something like that. He didn't want her singing. He was like gangster in there, So he just does that so well, and I thought it was fun to put that out there. And I know we don't talk too much about Kels, and I don't talk about Kels like that, and I don't personally listen to his music. But I did want to say this, and I just got to say it. I still remember Trapped in the Closet when it first came out, bro. Like not the whole DVD set and all that, but just on the radio, and just like having a cliffhanger song on the radio, bro. Ridiculous.
I ain't gonna hold you. Me and Mama C, that was our,
Ah, man, listen.
our shit. In the closet. Oh, it
Oh.
was.
I mean, especially because you're like a musical, you're a musical girly, as you would say, like so that was like blending worlds right there, like a musical sing along, storytelling. It was amazing. Like I just was thinking about that whole clip. Like, oh my God, a rubber, like that. All of yeah. Man, telling you now. All right, I ain't gonna even do all that. I know I'm giving them way too much. I'm giving them way too much right now. But that was just amazing. So all of them songs kind of spawned that thought. But thank y'all, of course, for listening in on our reels and stuff. We'll keep putting those out at least once a week. We like to do it more, but life gon' life, and we are all parents here, so we know how they go. All right, well, childish grown up moment. A nostalgic moment that you had this week. Ash, we'll start with you.
Just little snippets. So we had bought some chips, the same chips for both of us, me and Tyler. And I was just like, he opened his bag first. I was like, let me get some of your chips. So that just took me back to like my siblings. You know, we got snacks, but yours ain't open yet. So you just trying to eat their snacks. Like I'm like, I'll get you back later when I open my bag of chips.
Bro, used to hold off on the opening the chips, bro. What
So,
was you on?
I don't know. So that happened. I was like, oh yeah, I got it right. Because I'm childish, so this is just, this is just what I do. And I was singing in the fan as well. We got a fan in our room because it gets hot in there sometimes. And I don't know, something just made me want to sing in the fan. So I started singing in the fan, and I was cracking up. I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I was. And y'all know I was out of town this weekend, went to Chicago, and we had stopped to get some snacks. And so I saw this, so I had to pick that up. Can y'all see that?
Tell for the people that are not watching, what is it?
This is sparkling water. So this is clearly Canadian. Shout out to the boy. I know. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
And this is raspberry flavor that I strawberry, but this is all they had. So we bought like 4 of these. We were so excited. Tyler was just as excited as I was because I knew this is the Dollar General days. And this is glass too. So we trying to hold on to these and keep these. Of course. Something about a beverage that just tastes better when it's in a glass. It's just like this unique bottle. It reminds me of like watching Martin. They always had some like interesting drinks. I'm like drinking. It was like apple juice, but it was in like some grown up like type of container. It just made it look so good. But a few of the clearly Canadians, and so
Tommy Strong always had a nice beverage in his hand.
For sure.
They had me on the little apple juices in the little apple shaped bottles.
Oh, you're talking about the Martinelli's?
Yes.
If I'm saying that right, I think it's Martinelli's. But yeah, them are so good. Oof. Ooh, when they came to Dollar Tree, I was like, it's over. All right. Mia G, what's your childish grown-up moment?
I was struggling to find one. Like, I was like, I don't know. I haven't really done anything until like this morning. So my baby girl was in theater camp all week last week. And they at the end, they had their little showcase and they send you a video. And they were doing this Disney movie called Rise of Red. The Descendants Rise of Red, if anybody's familiar. And like it's like a musical about the villains' children in the school they go to. So this morning I was walking around singing the song from her musical because I couldn't get it like out of my head. It was stuck in my head. And she's like, Mommy, you're singing the song wrong. I was like, I know, but I can't get it out of my head. So she played it. And we just danced around her room and sang the song from Descendants Rise of Red while we were getting ready for day camp and work this morning.
Yeah, that's nostalgic too. Like singing a song wrong and just like as kids we always misquoted. that was just the norm.
I'm singing it how I remember.
Oh man, all right. For me, a couple of things. One, I've been watching Degrassi High, the 1989 version. I finally finished it. It was only 2 seasons. It's on YouTube if y'all interested. I think Junior High is on there too, but I was like, I'm too far ahead now. I can't go back. But maybe at some point I'll go to the junior high. But so the finale of the show was a dance, and everyone was suited and booted and dolled up, and it reminded me of school dances and how you found out who has been fine all this time, and you had no idea. You had no idea they looked this good, or you had no idea he could clean up this well until a dance came around. And when that came around, you was like, oh, wow. Like, I can't tell you how many times that has happened. There's been even an occasion where somebody like did like really literally like a Cinderella type of thing where you look totally different. Well, I'm like, I see you Monday. I might have to, I might have to pass the note. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, we might have to work in teams and groups because the way you was looking on Saturday, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, that's how it was, middle school and all that. So yeah, it was definitely took me back there. Then my other childish grown up moment was I was at Dollar Tree and I seen something so cool. I was like, I gotta have it. And this is like the official Childish Grown Up container for me right here. So it was this. You can't really see it because it's green, but if you look close enough, you can see the shape of it.
Mhm.
It looks even cooler actually on here for some reason. But it's a green beverage that looks like a Game Boy bottle. And so I really liked it. I was like, oh, I just wish it said Game Boy. Obviously, it's Dollar Tree, so it's not going to, but you know.
What you got in there?
I just got water in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and so that's our Childish Grown Up moments. If you have any, write into us, childishgrownups3@gmail.com, or reply to this video on YouTube, or just leave a comment on our Instagram page, Childish Grown Up. So just reach out to us and do what you got to do. So all right, well, Ash.
Yes, sir. Now, as you know, I gave you guys an off week of the trivia when we had our guest. So now it's time to get that trivia back in. All right? So we'll see how y'all do. Y'all have some time to regroup, and let's get into it. So the first one is from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, God.
In the episode King Ramses, what object does Courage return that unleashes the curse? A golden scarab, a slab, a crown, or an ancient coin? What object does Courage return that unleashes the curse?
Oh my God, Ash.
What was it again? The choices again? I'm sorry.
A golden scarab, a
Like a
slab. Huh?
I think it's called a scribe.
Is it? It's like SCARAB. Scarab. I don't know what that is. A slab, a crown, or an ancient coin?
I'm gonna go with slab.
Okay.
Only reason is because I if it's tied to that episode, one of the scariest episodes of Courage Cowardly Dog, Return the Slab. That still haunts me to this day. That weird looking ghost thing, it didn't even fit the cartoon, bro. Mad scary for no reason. Well, for the reason of the show, but so I'm gonna say slab. That's my guess.
I'm just gonna say the same because I have been batting a very low average here lately. So I'm just gonna have to
On the front. Okay. That is correct. That is correct.
Man, that episode is scary. Y'all go watch that again.
That show really was scary, low key. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
On the low.
Courage was scary, bro.
Yeah, man. I still watch it. Like I still throw it on if I'm gonna watch cartoons, just because I like all of I like all of that. But yeah,
For tooth with the, you know what I mean.
I know with the hole in it. Yeah,
with the hole in it. But so the next one is from Girlfriends, one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh.
But shouldn't be too difficult. What was the name of the man Tony almost married before she got back together with Todd? Was it Greg, Charles, Clay, or Stanley?
All those names just
I know. It could be somebody else's boyfriend for me. Greg, Charles,
Clay, or Stanley. This is who she almost married before she got back with Todd.
Greg is the light-skinned dude.
Correct.
And I think he used to paint or something like that. Charles, not ringing a bell. Stanley, that name is standing out. I think I'm gonna go with Greg. I really don't remember a ton of her relationships, but I think I'm gonna go with Greg. That's the only guy that I can physically, mentally remember.
Okay.
I am, oh my goodness.
You want to hear them again, Mia?
Okay, you said Greg,
Mm-hmm.
Charles, Clay, or Stanley.
Okay.
Um, oh man. I remember a Greg, but I don't know if that was the same guy. I'm gonna have to just guess. And I don't want to keep piggybacking off of Mo's answers. So I'm gonna say Clay, even though I think it's wrong.
You final answer?
Clay is correct.
I do not remember Clay.
So Greg was the love of her life. Yes, he was the painter, wasn't making a lot of money. Clay was the doctor that she cheated on Greg with that gave her chlamydia.
Ooh, I
And this is
remember that.
and this is what Joan revealed to Greg and caused that whole situation with them. Yeah.
Dang, say there you go.
Yeah.
Dang.
Two what? 2-0, Mitch?
She got 2. I'm 1-1. Oh.
All right. Let's reel it in. This is from the game. And I know we all watch this show. What city does Derwin get traded to, which caused major tension in his relationship with Melanie? Was it Miami, New York, Baltimore, or San Diego?
Well, San Diego is where he was playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they played San Diego Sabres, I believe. So
Yeah.
I want to say Miami. New York don't ring a bell, but at Baltimore, I'm going Miami. Yeah, it's a little vague, but maybe I'm thinking.
I'm gonna agree with Miami.
That's incorrect. It's Baltimore.
Damn it.
Baltimore.
We narrowed it down and we were so close. It was right there.
See, I thought Mia was going to go the opposite again to see.
It's so hard. It's dang. Baltimore, that is not ringing a bell. Dang, okay.
Yeah, I know. I don't
He
remember
had that purple on, though. I remember he had that purple uniform when he got traded.
See, but that's what throwing me because it's like
I knew it wasn't.
I didn't remember the uniform. If I did, damn, that's
okay. So not bad. Y'all didn't do too bad, especially after a week off. You know what I mean? You got to reel it on in.
Nah, yeah, she did a lot better. I got 1 right out of 3. Ugh.
But that is all for the Flash with Ash, y'all.
All right. It's good to be back in this thing to do the Flash with Ash. A wonderful time as always. Mia G, you know what time it is to pull that lever, that magic machine that takes us back in the full nostalgia ride that we do when we're talking about these movies. Take us back to the movie we're talking about today.
We are going back to 1999 with a classic, epic, amazing Oscar award-winning film, The Matrix. When a beautiful stranger leads computer hacker Neo to a foreboding or forbidden underworld, he discovers the shocking truth. The life he knows is the elaborate deception of an evil cyber intelligence. We have a stacked cast with Keanu Reeves as Neo, aka Mr. Anderson, Lawrence Fishburne, my celebrity father, as Morpheus, Carrie Ann Moss as Trinity, Hugo Pantoliano. Am I pronouncing that right?
Hugo Pantoliano? That's his name, Hugo?
I mean, I'm sorry, mixing two people's names together.
Okay.
Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah, we call him Joey Pants.
Joey Pants as Cypher, Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith, Marcus Chong as Tank, Julian Arahanga as APAC, Matt Duran as Mouse, Belinda McCrory as Switch, and Gloria Foster, the late Gloria Foster, as the Oracle. And this film was released March 31st, 1999. Which is coincidental because our last film was released March 31st, 2006. This was released March 31st, 1999.
And I picked both those films. Is it me? Or is
I
it a
don't
conspiracy?
know.
I don't know.
That might be a lucky day for you, March 31st.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's something, huh?
Mm.
It's gonna be one of those episodes. So with that being said, let's do a little bit of a rewind. Me, I'm gonna throw the ball back in your court. How did you remember this film as a kid, or your earliest, kind of memories of the movie? What it felt like, and how it's held you then, and the memory of it, and then talk about kind of this experience.
Okay, so I was 8 when it came out, and I remember seeing it, and I remember I thought it was really entertaining, and I thought it was cool, and I knew that it was a big deal, but I didn't understand it. Like, I remember seeing it and not really understanding the concept of what was going on, but I just thought it was cool. But then, as like I hadn't watched it for a really long time, I think I watched it again in high school, and I was like, oh my God, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. And ever since then, each one that's come out, I've loved. Um, the newest one, a whole it's cool, but I've always loved this movie. This is one of those movies that I feel like I'll watch it anytime it's on. If I come across it, I'm always gonna press play, and it's just it's epic. It's got all the things I really like. It's gritty and it's dystopian and it's about the future, but it's like not shiny. It's real, like grungy. And it has that 90s feel to it. And this, I hadn't watched it in a while, but this watch, I was just drawn back in and I really love this movie so much. I can't wait to like talk about it.
Mm. Okay, Ash, what about you?
Pretty similar. I was trying to pinpoint where we saw this, and I can't put my finger on it. But and before this watch, I haven't watched it in years. It's been a long time. It's not one that I put on, but like if I were to see it on TV, like I would tune in. Um, but I remember the same, just it looking cool and it being unique, and just remember it being something that I hadn't seen before, and it was kind of mind blowing. But like Mia said, not understanding really what's happening. A scene that sticks out really is when that bug went in his belly button. I remember that vividly, like from back then when I was a kid. I'm like, I just this, and I felt the same. When I watched it again, I was just like, when they were trying to pull it out more so, but I was like, God, it's crazy.
Mm-mm.
Um, and I had mentioned this a little bit on our previous episode, the video game. That was for the second one, but like them having a video game based on the movie, and it really was playing out the movie. It's so cool. The slow motion effects. Like I just remember it being something that hadn't been done or seen by me. And yeah, so watching it this time, I felt the same. Still had the same effect. I had to watch it twice though, because I normally don't watch our movies twice, but I had to double down on this one because kind of watched it coming in and stuff. So I wanted to have a fresh set of eyes.
Yeah. For me, same. I don't remember exactly where we was at, but I remember the same thing. The epic. One of the popular things that we used to always say, like people would do like slow motion, like The Matrix. Like every slow motion move, we would call it The Matrix. Like The Matrix became like a kind of just a pop culture term. You know what I mean? The Matrix. Like when you hooping, I hit it with the Matrix. Like so I remember being a kid watching it and like loving all of the action sequences and everything, and but not really tracking the in and out world of what's going on. Like I'm looking at they're plugged in, but they're unplugged. They're plugged in, plugged, unplugged. But this time around, it really affected me in a real way. It affected me in a deeper way than I would have liked. And but not that it was a bad thing. It just it brought something out of me in this watch of exposure to certain realities. How quickly your world is shaken. Particularly the scene where Morpheus educates him on what really happened. You know what I mean? You say in your simulation is 1999, but it's actually somewhere in the year 21 in the 2100s of years, and he showed him like how like broken down and the earth is, and this whole war between AI and human beings, and like the way that Neo reacted, and we'll get into like some overall discussion, but the way Neo reacted is like, no, I won't believe that. And there's a reality in that reaction. Like, bruh, and Cypher kind of touches on that, and I'll get there. But like when that scene came up, it so much more of this movie resonated, and in this watch, more so with the meanings, the conversations, the kind of that part of it. I never really watched it for that ever, really. I knew it was there, I just didn't watch it. But this time I watched it for a whole different view. One take, Jake, and it was just like, wow, it is not left me. So just one of the things I want to get into. So the movie opens up and it gets right into the sense of action without answering any questions or giving us any narration. What is it about blockbuster films? What is it about the blockbuster film era that has this type of magic? And also, what was the last movie you seen in theaters that had you excited in the opening scene? Like, oh man, we about to. So it's a two-part question there. Whoever wants to respond on that.
You got something yet, Ash?
I know. That's a good question. I have to think on this.
Well, what about the other part of it though? What is it about these type of films, like that era of it just has this big feel to it, like those blockbuster films. Obviously, this is probably one of those, a Jurassic Park, probably a Training Day, just certain movies that have this big feel to it right away.
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know.
I think. Oh, my bad, Ash.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, because you can't necessarily always go off the cast for that too, because like most of these you mentioned have great cast, like some heavy hitters, but that isn't always the case. Some movies that may have lesser known actors can be that too, but I'm not sure.
I would say, I think there used to be like a formula to films and the way they released. I really think streaming killed a lot of that for film industry. We used to have big big budgets, big promos for all different kinds of films. People used to really value like new ideas. Then, Marvel came along and the blockbuster films became just like superhero movies, and it kind of changed the formula of release of films. There wasn't the same promo, press runs and stuff like that was different. So I think that is why we don't get this anymore. People don't get the budgets to make fresh new ideas. So if you don't got like a little money machine behind you, it's going to be a lot of the same. And a lot of the really good independent films don't get a lot of push like from the big Hollywood machine. That's why I would say Sinners is the last movie that I saw that I was really excited to see, and then two, like as soon as the film opened, I was just immediately like captivated and taken into the world. And I think, Ryan Coogler, being who he is with his track record, he had, the ability to do that for himself, as far as press, but, film ain't the same.
Yeah, I think as far as you've seen that in theaters, right? Sinners?
About 3-4 times.
Okay. Yeah, I seen it, but I didn't get to catch it in theaters. So, but that was definitely the most recent. Like that, of course, Get Out. But as theater wise, it was Black Panther. Black Panther, just from the color of it, the music that was playing, like it was like, just seeing that whole little betrayal moment, and you're seeing the little barcode on the lip, and that opening just felt like wow. And then once they take you right to Wakanda, and you're getting all these colors and this costume design, and you're getting people doing the little X shimmy or whatever whatever you want to call it. So Yeah, but this movie got me back in that same type of space. And I think, like you said, I think the streaming killed it. And I think um films are they don't they don't make movies like they know it's going to be on streaming, so they change their format of grabbing your attention is not the same because of that. I think they're going for a different formula that may fit for being at home and watching it on one of your platforms versus theater. Like these, they knew this is going to theater. You know what I mean? People are going to get out. So how can we capture that? And that probably is a part of it, like that big, so but yeah. I guess I know you spoke a little bit about it, but you can probably elaborate a little bit more on it, Mia. But I'll throw the ball on Ash Court first. So, how do you feel about the cinematography and the directing in this movie, the slow mos, the Black Gotham feel, the green technology look, the combat style, even the angles of how the scenes are shot? How did you feel about the aesthetic of the Matrix?
Good. Right back into that time frame. I felt like a kid watching it again. Real rustic. It just, like she said, it felt like 90s vibes. Like that was the look of it. It just, even from the gear, like when Neo had the boots on and walked through the metal detector with all the guns. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, this is all intentional. Like, but nah, I enjoyed how it looked. It just took me right back into that nostalgic feel. And like you said, we don't get that anymore now with the movies that are coming out. Not that they're not good, but just it's not the same. It's just a different era, different time.
Yeah, true. Me G.
So this was a big deal. It was like groundbreaking at the time. Those freeze frames where the camera's like panning around Neo and Agent Smith and they're in the air and you see the bullet and you see like the slow-mo, back bend matrix and everything would like Trinity in that opening scene where she does she jumps up in the air and she kicks. All of that was like new and fresh and everybody was like, oh my God, that's why it became such a cultural staple because it was all like if you watch it now, it's like of course we've seen so much CGI and whatnot that's groundbreaking today. Like I just saw the brand new trailer for the new Avatar movie today, and I'm like, this looks crazy. But in the 90s, in 1999, this looked crazy.
Yeah,
because it was just new, and then the way they kept it in that they kept it grounded in like that real world kind of. It wasn't too far fantasy.
Yeah,
Epic. I keep using the word, but it was epic.
but that's the word that defines this movie. Like even like the agents when they're moving and they're doing the, all of that. Like again, we know what that is. Like you put some effects on it, but it's still like you said. I think you said it perfectly. It's like they treated this like it's just the film is so good and how it's shot and presented that they explain just the right amount. They nothing is beyond belief. This film to me at moments it's weird to say this, but I know people say it sometimes. It's like, oh, this feels like a documentary. Like in some weird way for me, because it felt like, no, this is the reality. Like they took it so serious. You know what I mean? Like, I just think about a lot of stuff that Morpheus was doing, and they took it so serious. And again, it's acting, you're supposed to take it serious, but it's the way it was carried, this new concept, and the characters, well, we'll get more into the characters, but the look of it was just really good. Is and what it reminded me of, and I wonder how much inspiration they pulled from Blade, because Blade came out a year. Huh?
I had that same thought when
Yeah,
I was
come out
98.
Oh,
so it came out a year prior, so they probably, okay. So it made me wonder, because that world and that kind of like y'all have been talking about, kind of this interesting world, because I look at this movie and I think about, like, I said, man, if this was made later down the road, this could have easily been a series. You know, The Matrix could totally be a series. Like, you know, I thought about Green Arrow, like this kind of that show. It made me think about it. It's kind of this dark tone to it, the way it's shot, all you know. So, but I don't know. I love the all of that. The you know the slow mos is wonderful. The green like just cryptic. You know, it was just good, man. Combat, and then the combat style is like it's like they invented a style by blending a few different ones. It's just a like all of that. It just looked cool. Now you look at it, it looks slow and not as fast now in this year that we're in, but back then it looked so cool, like Neo fighting with one hand, doing like, bro, that was fire back then, dude. Like he is the one, you know what I'm saying? Like we'll get there. We'll get to talk about how hype we get once we get there. Like, let's freaking go. Couple more things that we just get into the film, however we want to talk about it for however long. There was talks. I mean, this is no new information. It's been said a million times. There was talks that Will Smith they brought this idea to Will Smith, but he turned it down because he had did Men in Black, I believe. And he said he didn't want to be kind of like the sci-fi alien dude or whatever. Like he didn't, you know, so he turned it down. My question to y'all, how do you think Will could have pulled this off? And if you do think he could have pulled this off, what do you think the movie would have been like if Will was Neo?
That's a great question.
It is. It is. Just trying to picture it now. He could have. I don't want to say that Keanu Reeves did like so much where it had to be him. Like I don't feel like I can't see somebody else being Neo because of maybe it's just the way that it was written, right? Like I mean he was like a man of few words, you know, he had the look, you know, the shock factor, and just like it wasn't too much. I don't know how to explain it, but like
I know what you're getting
at. I don't think he couldn't have been swapped. Like it wasn't so like, oh, this is Keanu. It can't be. Especially the first one, I'm like, nah, I could see Will doing it. Maybe with a little more talking from Will, because you know he's a talker.
Yeah.
Maybe with Will, that might have been a little comic. It's not supposed to be funny, but I feel like just a little bit of humor in there.
Yeah.
A little bit of splash of that if Will was Neo. But definitely, you know, he's in shape. So I think he could have did it. See it.
Well, that's okay. I think you make a good point. I do see what you mean. That little comedic, you know, flavor palette, that kind of Men in Black or Independence Day, like right at the time. Yeah, which this movie needs zero of that, at least from
right.
Know, so that's a great point. Mia, what do you think about that?
Oh man, he could have done it. Yes. Don't think he should have, and I'm glad he didn't, because you know, he was the blockbuster guy. He's great in everything, but I think that there's a certain stoicism to Keanu Reeves where he can play the straight man really well in a way that Will Smith, he's a little bit too big of a personality. Like you see Keanu can carry a film like John Wick where he says maybe 5 words the whole movie and it still hits because he's just like, I think Neo's character was supposed to be a little bit more like unsure of himself and a little bit more apprehensive, and I don't think Will plays that well. I think all of his characters come off with a certain cocky confidence that Keanu didn't have at first, and I think that played to the point. It would have been a different movie. I think it still could have been good, and I think it still would have been a big deal, but I think this role was kind of made for Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I think all the things y'all said. I do think Will could pull out. I know what you mean. Like Keanu has that kind of lost look. You know, he just naturally can do that. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't understand. He does that perfectly. Now, what makes me think Will could get there is 2 movies that I thought about. Enemy Enemy of the State. Well, that like I'm looking for that kind of, you need that lost look. Like, that's hard thing sometimes with Denzel. He always seems like he has a plan, even when he's playing, but he can do anything though. So, but like Will, same thing. But like I think about Enemy of the State, where he really didn't know what was going on. And the whole time he just wasn't getting it. And so that confused side of him. And then like 7 pounds, kind of this real stoic. So I'm like, I can see him getting there. Like I can definitely see him getting there. I think it is a little bit different of a film. I think the film would have been more focused on action and not so much philosophy. And I think this movie has a lot of philosophy and concepts with, apocalyptic, themes and things of that nature. But so I think it would be more of an action film. And now that I watched it this way, as the Childish Grownup, I appreciate all of the talking stuff in between now. Like, so, and lastly, have y'all, I know this has been spoken about as well, but have y'all ever noticed like the movie having like, biblical undertones? For example, there's a few examples. So, we know the original author was a Black woman, Sophia Stewart. And she's come out, over the past few years, just bringing us up between this and Terminator. But the undertones that I kind of noticed is like Neo being, kind of being sent, to save, the Matrix. It's like a Jesus figure, and Morpheus is like a John the Baptist figure, which is John the Baptist prepares the way for Jesus. You know what I mean? So it's like he's preparing the way for the one. Even in the Bible it says that behold, so. And then like the Oracle being like a prophet, you know what I mean? That has something to say, and has to share what needs to be shared. And then of course Cypher being like Judas, like a Judas figure, which is very clear. And then the agents just being like, demons, devil type of thing. Have y'all ever noticed it or ever looked at it in that way? I know this is not new information. I'm not bringing up nothing new, but have you ever noticed it?
I hadn't thought about it, and I hadn't really made the connection. But then when you were just naming all of those points, I'm like, he even rose from the dead at the end of the movie.
That part too, yeah.
And I never made the connection really until you just said those points. But yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Okay. Ash, you ever noticed?
Yeah, I mean, this time watching it as a childish grown-up, yeah. But back then, no, I never thought about it. But biblical relation all up and through here on this watch for sure. Definitely Neo being the one, and the dying and coming back to life, yeah. And Morpheus saying, I've been waiting on you all my life. You know what I mean? Like, it's all in there for sure.
Yeah, it's all that. All right, so let's get into the film. Wherever we want to take it, Ash, where do you want to go? However you want to go. There's the philosophy side, there's the action side, there's everything in between.
Anywho, so I'm more so character based for my notes. I have like a couple of scenes. I mean, more so like just want to talk about the Morpheus and Neo fight, the training, that part. And then like one other, but other than that, I'm more so character based on my end.
Okay, how's yours set up, Mia?
It's more not scene by scene, but like concept by concept, so to speak.
Okay. I'm kind of like just moments, kind of moments, and kind of concepts as well. So, all right, how about we do this? Ash, you pick where you want to start, and if you don't know where to start, then I have a place I think we could start.
Yeah, I'll start with the training, the fight. Like that was something that stood out to me, just the training. Once they got Neo over there, like I think it was an iconic scene. I put in my notes. It's funny how Mia been saying epic. Like I was like, the Morpheus and Neo fight was epic, right? And I just remembered that back then. I thought it, like you said, all the slow motions and Morpheus being damn near undefeatable. Like it was just a great scene. And I remember just, and actually it was just more so than it was trying to get Neo outside of his head, right? He kept saying, free your mind, free your mind. That was like the running thing in this movie. So stop trying to hit me, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I just thought that was a powerful scene to really try to get him to believe, right?
Hmm. Right, right, right.
So it was more of a mental game than just seeing Neo's fighting skills and stuff. So I just thought I looked deeper in that scene, but also it was cool seeing that stuff. So it's pretty much all I had on that. It was dope enough for me to write down, so I wanted to just talk about it.
Yeah, it was fire scene. One of the most memorable scenes of the movie is the training,
Mm.
even prior to like the downloading. You know, the downloading of the martial arts. Like he said, man, he's been going for 10 hours straight, and he just like give me some more. Like he's and
Machine.
yeah, he's just downloading the intel. Like it's it's funny how AI is so prevalent now in this movie. It brings a lot of those type of concepts. But yeah, the fighting was good, and like the even how hyped the crew was to see them going at it. And you know, again, Neo not knowing who he is,
Hmm.
and he's just trusting in Morpheus.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing fighting scene. I love it. Morpheus with the black on, him with the white, and yeah, that whole the backflip thing, and this, yeah, all the stuff you said. So yeah, uh, do you want to touch up on anything in that regard? And I know it's a little bit before they even got to that part too, but yeah.
Me?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
So all I really say is because you guys have touched on most of that scene. The Morpheus character is one of my favorite movie characters of all time. I think, as we've seen in these and other films, like Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves have really great on-screen chemistry, but I love his character, and he was always so sure and calm. And there was never a sense of like uncertainty, or like he had a sense of urgency, but he knew what Neo could do. So he never worried about him being able to do it. He's like, when you figure out that you can do it, you can do it. And I already know you can. So he just like I love that. Um, but yeah, as far as that particular scene goes, that's really all I have. But I really think Morpheus was a standout to me in that one.
Anywhere you want to go particularly with Morpheus?
I kind of want to talk about the concept of like the red versus blue pill in like in general. Like,
Yeah, that's a great place to
would
go.
you have taken the red pill or would you have taken the blue pill?
It's definitely the. I mean, it's definitely everybody now looking at it like it's definitely the blue pill. Um, which is well, I'll speak a little bit more about Cipher, where Cipher was coming from, and why he was so pissed at Morpheus.
Mhm.
Actually, has a real good reason why he's pissed at Morpheus, uh, because of this presentation. See how far the rabbit go, but you can't reverse it. And the concept is like blue pill, believe what you want and be in bliss. Red
Mhm.
pill, find out the truth, be woke, so to speak, be exposed. And now, the thing about exposure or being introduced to something, when you're introduced to something, you can't unintroduce. And
That's
that's why I'm
true.
very careful about bringing things to the forefront because you never get a chance to, you can't take it back,
Mhm.
So, but what did you want to get into specifically about the concept though?
So I wanted to talk about just the concept of once he makes that decision and seeing how like the breakdown of what that meant. Like, because yeah, Morpheus explained, like, you take this, you see the truth, we pull back the curtain, or this one, you just go back to your life. But not necessarily really knowing, like you were saying, Cypher kind of had a good, because you don't know what you're getting into when you really take that red pill and you go in there and you find out that the entire world as you know it is all just a huge simulation. And I think, again, one of the things, this movie is so timeless because these concepts do not go away. You still hear people saying we live in a simulation to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that they set up the Matrix and, pulling him out of it was just, again, epic. Like the bodies in those little pods
Mm-hmm.
full of goop. And I still like, even to this day, I've seen this movie a million times. It still kind of like trips me up, which I'll probably watch this movie again tonight before I go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like just how they maneuver throughout that world and like pick the people up from their pods after they, wake them up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to say that I don't like it's still kind of confusing to me, but it's still a little bit confusing to me. I don't know.
That's exactly what the film was supposed to do right there. That the fact that it's doing that is what it's supposed to do. Ash, what do you that blue pill, red pill scheme like?
Yeah, that's why I had to do a second watch because I'm like, I'm kind of confused. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I'm like, I gotta really tap in and like focus on what's happening because I'm like, what I'm seeing is like the first time I watched it again. But as far as the red or blue, yeah, I definitely would have went blue just because with a certain level of comfortability that you're used to it, especially like you don't know if you can go back to how you prefer things, right? And then it's like that he's saying that's the truth. It's like, dang, so am I living a lie? You know what I mean? I would have been curious
Mm-hmm.
to take the red, but I probably would have been too scared. I'm not even gonna lie to you to see what's on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, well, you'll speak to Cypher later because it's like, bro, I mean, he didn't let him decide. So let me decide, but like, can I see like a preview? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Before I like go see the movie, give me just a little bit. But yeah, I think taking like when he explained it to him, like taking the red pill, it's like once you know the truth, you can't go back. It's like a certain responsibility of the truth. Like whatever happens from here on, whether it be pain or isolation or you know anger, danger, whatever, it's just like this is what you have. But
Mm-hmm.
You
it's
really? I would have took the red pill. Well, I'll say young childless me, I would have took the red pill. Probably not because I got kids. I'm gonna take I'm gonna stay with them
Mm-hmm.
and take the blue one. But before, I definitely would have been a red pill, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, and he, if especially if you're under the belief that there's something better, and that's kind of what I was trying to figure out. Was he on the search for something better? Because he was a hacker, of course, or was you just in the search of just more? Like people are just truth finders or informational people. The thing about it is why it was stuck with me so much is a few things. It's this idea of when we were kids, the idea of what we thought the world would be. That's the blue pill. It's the hope of, oh, it's gonna be great. I can't wait till I get grown. I can't wait till I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. That's the blue pill. But then when you reach the adulthood, you've actually digested the red pill, and you see like, dang, you look at it. I just looked around and said, man, I've lost so many loved ones. All of us have lost loved ones that we grew up with. It's like, dang, I remember this auntie, this uncle, this cousin, this, I was like, golly, like that's the red pill of life. So that's kind of how I started to see this movie in such a different facet. And then also just being a person of belief and faith, that also is the thing too, where it's like, because of my belief, now I'm exposed to a different way of thinking, and my outlook on life is so different. And sometimes I do look back at like, man, it was simpler when I didn't know as much. It's better that I know because of what I believe. However, it just felt simpler when I didn't know as much. And that's why this is like so daunting watching this, like, man, so yeah. There's a little bit of this horror aspect to this film a little bit too. Like I know Asher spoke to the tech bug in the belly, but also not forget the mouthless scene,
Oh,
bro. Like that mouthless, like oh man, bro. That was a crazy. Anyway, I don't want to. I'll go too far down a rabbit hole. No pun intended for that. So yeah, so the goop concept, that whole idea, and I mean, just how terrible is that though? Like once you've been exposed, you realize this is the real world. This is the real world. The real world is like this is what made the movie hard. And Ash, you can go where you want to go next, but just going past the red pill, blue pill situation, and like now we're in this is the real world. Like where okay, we stay on this ship. This is a post-apocalyptic world. In your world, in your mind, in the Matrix, the simulation that you were living in, it's 1999, but this is really what it is. And the hard part about this movie too was both scenarios were shitty. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, man, this is the real world. Y'all eating cream of wheat every day. You know what I mean? You drinking that oil, monkey oil. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, bro, this sucks. And then you go to the Matrix, you got agents chasing you in the simulation. I was like, man, that's what made this feel so suffocating watching this movie. Cause I was like, man, this is not really a happy film. It's not oh, it all worked out. Nah, not really. Like, and that's why I said, dang, this is a different kind of film watching it now. I just seen it totally different this time. So, but yeah, crazy. So Ash, what else stood out to you that you want to tap into in the Matrix?
I mean, like I said, I'm more just some touching on the character. So if y'all have more concepts that y'all wanted to like tap in, we can go that route first if you want. Because I'm just kind of more so just touching on Trinity, Morpheus, Neo, as
the big three.
And then I have like Neo's determination to get Morpheus back. That too.
Oh, I can't wait.
But I know that's down there, so
yeah. Just because I know once we get there, we about to cook. Like we definitely about to cook. Right now, we just prepping the veggies right now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay. Well, we could do that. So, what other concept that you had in your notes, Mia, that you wanted to get into in regards to this?
The Oracle, the concept of the Oracle, and so the thing about this that oh my God, this movie is so good. Like
it is.
The way that the Oracle is just a Black lady in her kitchen baking cookies. That is so dope to me. Like there's something so grounded and real about it's not like some lady floating in the air with a bald head and like a light shining behind. She's just a woman. They go to her apartment. She's baking cookies and she's like, hey, and it like that was that is something that I don't know if people talk about enough when it comes to the concept of like sci-fi and just keeping it in this real world like scenario. And I think the concept of the Oracle wasn't that she knew everything or the future, but she knew how to tell them exactly what they needed to know to accomplish what they were destined to accomplish, but not necessarily giving them all the answers. And I thought that was just so dope. Like, that's one of my favorite things about this movie. I hate that they had to recast because, unfortunately, the late Gloria, she passed away, even though I do love who they recast her with. But I just, she reminded me of just like a auntie or a granny. And it was just this kind of, I don't even know if this was the goal, but the old Black lady wisdom, they don't even really have to, like, we have oracles in our family. It's not that she necessarily even had to be all knowing. It's just like this wise presence that she has. It's like a warm hug.
Yeah, the Oracle, the Oracle today is Siri, AI, like Google. That's how I feel. Like that's like correlating the tech side of, because she's in the Matrix, not in the real world. So, but she's an interesting piece because she's in the digital simulation, but it's like the agents can't touch her. So she's like a staple in the system. Like, but and it's amazing because there's always this back and forth. People like, oh, theories about Neo's not the one, because even the Oracle told him he's not the one. But then it's like, well, people say no, she told him that because it's like a reverse psychology to open him up to, to what he need. And she did tell the truth. She's like, one of you are going to die. And that's your choice, and that did happen. He did die, but he also rose. And so the Oracle is definitely one of the most interesting characters. I mean, even with the gifted children in there, with the spoon concept of like the spoon, like basically like the spoon, it isn't bending. So it makes you think, okay, the spoon isn't bending, then how is it bending? You know what I mean? It's Neo is like, you think the kid is bending it, but maybe the kid's not bending it. Neo is seeing it bend because he's the one. His mind is starting to morph to what it's supposed to be as the one. Like these are like I feel like breadcrumbs, like the spoon. Then he looked close, and then he comes back to his reality again. A little biblical undertone here. I just thought about it. This is off the cuff, but like Peter walking on water. He asked Jesus to bid him to walk on water, and he walked on water. He took a few steps, but then when he stopped looking at Jesus and looked around at his surrounding everything, he immediately fell in the water. So I look at that with Neo. It's like the spoon, it was bending because of his mind and how he's figuring out that he can warp reality in the Matrix. But then when he realized the kid said, that's not your reality, or whatever the kid had quoted, I got it somewhere down in my quote. Then he looked at it and he came off of it. So it was, and again, I'm not like the person to try to get extra deep, but I just watched this movie, and I think this movie is probably the most explained movie, more than the next three. So but as we can get into Trinity. I mean, I know all of it kind of, the concepts will flow right into the characters as well. So you want to get into Trinity a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, she was dope, and I liked how they introduced her early on, like right out the gate. And seeing her face this time again just put me in that happy space, like, Trinity out here kicking ass. Mm-hmm. So definitely enjoyed seeing her. I liked her a lot. She was very calm-headed, and she really didn't panic. I mean, it was a lot going on in that world too. So like you said, just watching this movie, it's like any of these type of movies, like this is their world, and it's like you're really engulfed into it. Like you can't even imagine like being in this, taking that red pill to come to this and have this freaking thing in the back of my head, bro. Like I can't even like fathom the idea. Bro. Like wake up, go to sleep. Like it's crazy, but it take them. That's kudos to the movie though, like how good it is. But she was loyal to Morpheus. Who was it that said she didn't tell them to like off them? Was that the brother that was like the computer dude?
Yeah, no, is it
not Dozer is the older? What's the other?
Oh, APOC, whatever. I think Tank.
And Tank was the little brother. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Tank,
yeah. So
who said to leave to let Morpheus go? Was that Tank?
Yeah, it was Tank.
Okay, because I was gonna say like I don't think it was Trinity. Like I said, I was just touching on like her loyalty. But I was like, hold on, did she leave my boy out there? But
I think they were all trying to tell him to leave Morpheus.
They like focus on the one, but it's like she was like an emotional anchor for Neo. I'm in the middle with the love interest there with them too. Like I didn't put it in the section, but that I needed. But
yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty. As a kid, I liked it because I just found it really attractive. Who doesn't love leather? This is definitely that era. Leather boots, all that. Love it. Neo's doing his thizzle too. You know what I'm saying? The leather was leathering. You know what I mean? But yeah, looking back at it now, it was whack. Like I don't have it in my section, but it was whack. Like that whole love, like the Oracle told me that I would fall in love. Man, if y'all don't get, man, boy, if you don't, like, come on, man.
Yeah. They leaned on each other, or more so him
Hmm.
leaning on her. But I like the I like their connection. I just don't think it needed to be a love one necessarily. But
Hmm.
overall, I think Trinity was dope.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I love Trinity. It's a very standout. She is definitely a character where you were like, man, could I get a prequel? Like
yeah.
that's where the ball was dropped. Low key is like y'all should have thought about doing a prequel and Trinity. We see how she ended up getting to the red pill. You know what I mean? Like that would have been like a really dope. Like to me, I mean, they could, of course, they furthered the world, but that would have been dope to me to see like what was her life like. And I just wanted to see a little bit more of the simulation in that regard with this because they kind of get to it pretty quick. Not a critique in my section, I don't think, but just something I thought about. Is there anything you wanted to speak to as far as Trinity before we kind of move on, Mia?
I definitely was in elementary school with my long leather jacket and my black boots. But no, I love Trinity's character. Strong female characters are always gonna do it for me. I'm always gonna go up for that. I do have something in that later section about the love interest part of it, and so we'll talk about that later. Um, I don't think there's a whole great deal for me to say about Trinity though. Like just as a character, it was pretty straightforward, self-explanatory. She was the catalyst to get him in there.
Hmm.
You know, that's who they sent to look for him, to bring him in. And I, yeah, I'll talk about that later, I suppose.
Okay. Um. Okay. So I'm trying to let's kind of try to get to like the second half of the film, kind of going towards the the transition where we've already been introduced to the agents. The agents are, I don't know if they serve as viruses in the Matrix or are they serving as like,
No.
so to speak, pop-up blockers.
Yeah, exactly. I would categorize it as a pop-up blocker. I think the agents are there to make sure that everything stays in the simulation. Like people don't find out that the Matrix isn't real. They're kind of running it because on the outside, they're made by the ones, the AI system that is now
Oh, right, right, right,
using humans, making them and using them for energy.
right,
So
right.
they're just there to keep stuff in line.
These are their
You know?
batteries, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like the firewall kind of
Mm,
for the Matrix. They're there to keep it from, being dismantled.
yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. So just kind of getting into some of the other things, and again, there'll be a section where whatever your things that you didn't get to say or may have not gotten to say, you want to just bring up by any means, we'll cover because I want to make sure everything that you got that you wanted to speak to, all of us get spoken to. But there's the big betrayal. The big betrayal happens with Cipher, and Cipher sits down with the agents,
Agents.
and 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 Cipher saying, "Why didn't I take the blue pill?" And he says ignorance is bliss, and he makes a deal with the agents, and pretty much all he has to do is get the access codes for them to get to the ship because they're the only people that are like taking the humans out of there and awakening them, so the AI can't use the humans for their energy, and that's what it was. So uh yeah, man. Interest Cipher, that whole concept was interesting. And that's why Ash, they wanted to get Tank was ready to let Morpheus go because Morpheus has all the access codes in his brain. They say he's gonna crack it, and then they're gonna end up going from the Matrix world to the real world. They're gonna shut our whole operation down and get us out of here. And so that's why it was like, bro, it's getting close. He's gonna crack. Nobody's lasted this long. And then, that's why he's gonna have to get rid of them and have to salvage, what you got, so but anything I want to say about? Oh, go ahead.
What was the town called? Because we don't actually see it until the second movie, but the two brothers mentioned that they were actually born there. And for some reason I didn't write it down. And because that's where the agents were trying to get to, where all
Mm-hmm.
the real people.
Zion or
Was it Zion?
I think that
it
was a ship. I think that was a ship name.
was it. I'm gonna look it up. I'm sorry. I thought you might have written it
What's her
down.
name? Again, Zion, another biblical
Who's
reference.
Zion?
That's that was the town or the ship? Or the
Town.
town, the place or whatever. Okay. And that was even an interesting thing too. Like
Yeah, it was Zion.
Okay.
An underground human city.
Yep, it was.
Oh, sorry. Something I didn't get to say real quick about the Oracle. I don't know. She could be a nod to the black woman that wrote the original books of these, this and Terminator. So I thought about that and when we were talking, I said, oh, that could be a nice little nod too. But because she is, so to speak, the Oracle, she wrote all of this. So, but anyway, what were you? Was you about to say something, Mia?
No. I was saying that could be a nod to that. I agree.
Okay. So Ash, you said you had Morpheus, and I know we're kind of getting to the back half of where Morpheus gets picked up by the agents, and now they're torturing him, and the agent is just in disgust with him and human beings in general. And to be honest, we understand that there's a different understanding for why these villains be feeling this way about humankind. What did you want to say about Morpheus, the character, and then did you want to say anything about the Agent Smith dialogue to Morpheus about like the stench and the just disgust he has with humans?
Well, I want to touch on what you just said with Cypher and the betrayal. Like that was crazy because it worked like to a certain extent. Like, anytime the betrayal works, it just be like how they get it off, and like he's upset, man. Taking the red pill, not knowing what he's getting into, wants to go back, eating a steak, talking about it doesn't, he's not real. He just wants to like, what I mean?
Good too.
Yeah,
it did look good. I'm not gonna lie.
Have some wine, have a little cigar. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's a captain from Bad Boys, man. It's crazy.
Ralph Cifaretto from Sopranos as well.
He was so young, but so that's all I wanted to say on that. He was just upset. But did you say you think he had good reason? You said because. Oh
yeah, yep. Because when Morpheus was under, still, plugged in, and he was on top of Morpheus, he's like, you said the red pill or the blue pill, or like, he's like, he was calling him like let me see, I think I got it written somewhere here, but he's like, you call him like a piece of shit. Like you didn't present it like that it was going to be all of this, and that's what his anger was. Because now you're eating this cream of wheat every day on the ship, and your enjoyment is maybe getting plugged in, but you can be killed in the world you get plugged into. And so it's just like both realities suck. And it's like, bruh, so you didn't tell me all of this. And so, yeah, I'll leave it there for
It's fair. Yeah, that's fair, because he didn't really explain all of that. You know what I mean? I think for Morpheus, he was trusting in the greater purpose. So that's all he could see. He didn't see like the little complaints. Well, not even little, but just the complaints that someone may have that was enjoying the Matrix side of things. You know what I mean? Normal side, whatever you want to call it. He just had unshakable faith. Like he just kept putting that into Neo as far as like telling him to believe, and he just felt like he was the one, and he was a good leader. And so it was hard for me seeing him get his ass kicked, because I'm like, we're seeing him bleed now, and I'm like, Morpheus doesn't bleed to me, you know what I mean? So seeing him like really like down, I'm like, dang, they really finna kill my boy.
I know.
But the emotional walls. But yeah, Morpheus, I mean, like Mia said, he's an icon. I mean, what can't you say about him? Hell of a job by Lawrence. Yeah, he believed in Neo before he believed in himself. Again, he's just for the greater good. He's willing to die on that ledge, and that's just what it is. There's no wavering from him, and you can respect somebody like that. So,
yeah, absolutely. Mia, it's not you were going to say something. I don't know about Cypher before we kind of got into the Morpheus a little bit.
I was just going to say again, super realistic. It was just a real realistic occurrence, something you believe in this situation would happen. Somebody's not going to be happy with their decision, and somebody's going to want to go back.
Yeah.
And if ever, I love a complex villain. If ever there's a reason to kind of like, not that I'm saying it was, I don't side with him, but again, kind of in that Killmonger way, I get it.
Great
I
call.
he did it. Like, this is a lot. He wants to go back to his life, and he's like, I can't do this anymore. And I feel it. Like, and that's all I wanted to say. It was just like, it's another point of how this movie is just like, it's a fantasy, it's sci-fi, but it's grounded in reality in a lot of ways.
It was really dope to see all of them. Like, obviously when the scheme was happening and he dropped the cell phone, it was really dope to see all of them in the Matrix. Like, I was like, dang, this is so fire for some reason. Like, just because you always feel like they're just on the ship. So the fact that they was all plugged in was just like dope for that moment, even though, he literally started pulling the plug. You know what I mean? They was dropping dead in the Matrix world. So that was that, yeah. But now Neo, I had the quote written, but Neo and Trinity, another biblical concept, Trinity, they make the decision to go back into the Matrix to rescue Morpheus, and Tank ends up living after being shot with that gun, that crazy BFG, and they decide to do it. And I can't remember what Neo said exactly, because Trinity's like believes in Morpheus, and he says, I believe that I can bring him back. That was his belief? So it was almost like self-belief. It was kind of weird how it was written in that way, but he believed in himself, I think. Like and again, it's the spoon thing again. It's like, these crumbs are coming where you're doing things and you're not thinking about it. That's what, like Ash was saying earlier, free your mind. You're the one, free your mind. Like, you can do it all if you're the one. Like, so, but so they get there, and now here's where the cinematography it gets at its best. Neo's on the roof. Well, of course, first we get the guns blazing scene. Like, come on, like Ash said earlier about like going through, got the guns in the bag, and he's looking like, what the, and just like they get to it, and oh my gosh, that just, we'll put it all together as far as this whole scene, from downstairs with all of the shooting, the flipping, the slow-mos, to the upstairs fight, to actually rescuing Morpheus, like the helicopter joint. What do y'all want to say about that scene, and kind of that whole layout of it all?
Amazing. Very enjoyable. And like at that moment when he initially was like, they were about to pull the plug on Morpheus, in that moment of him just being like, wait, like you said, him believing that he can bring him back. First of all, my thing is like, if you think you're not the one, the Oracle's telling you you're not the one, you think you finna go back in here and just grab him up where you ain't gonna die. Like, that was so funny to me, because it's like, you're definitely the one, because you're not getting any of that off, any of that. You're out of it quick. Especially you're talking about you didn't want Trinity to go too. Like, boy, you're tripping. But that was nice seeing him. It's kind of like his faith over logic, because remember, he was just thinking logically the whole time, like in his head, about this can't be possible, it's not real, there's no way. But you think you can go in there and bring Morpheus back. So you started to see the transition and the change. And I love the scene, because again, like, it was that scene where, I don't know, he was getting up and then he started looking at the agents, and he just had that look in his face, and I was like, what is he? And he was like, he's believing. Like, you felt that energy in that scene. I'm like, yo, he really is like, I don't know, it just had me hyped, because it's like, now you bending bullets, and you doing all kind of crazy stuff. Like, it's like the energy just started to like just get into him, and it's like he just finally accepted it. Like, I thought that was so fire. And I just love his character arc, because just seeing his confidence rise. It just grew more and more as the film went on. And yeah, he wanted to break from the control and form his own path. And it was nice to see his leadership kind of come into play too. Like he wasn't so passive. Like he started to kind of participate and take charge and get his boy out of there. So he did it, man. He the one.
Okay. What do you want to say about it? Because I like that, but because it all kind of ties together, really, like it piecing it together. The action don't stop after we get to this point anyway. So, what you want to say about that whole sequence from, the bottom of the, it looked like a bank or whatever it was, but at the bottom of that building, all the way to, like, obviously we get to the subway and all, the chase and everything. There's a lot of action going on there.
Oh man. Oh, it's so good. I am not the biggest action movie girl, but when there's like a story like this and you feel the reasoning behind the action, like not action for action's sake, but like there's like a motivation. I love it. And I feel like you felt all of the tension and the motivation. I think, and the way it was shot was just so good. The you know, Agent Smith is just seems like this unbeatable force, and you know that everybody who's gone up against the agent has died, and you see this like you just know, like even though you're kind of like scared for Neo because it's like, oh, he kind of getting his ass beat a little bit, but you see like that grit, like he's gonna do it. And you're like,
yeah.
and it's just like I was like on the edge of my seat, like I hadn't seen it before, even though I've seen it a million times. And like just even now, like I said before, having seen a whole bunch of new technology in film, you still get that same hype feeling where you see him dodging bullets and stopping bullets and fighting with one hand and all that. Like it's still super, and like jumping out of the helicopter to like save Morpheus. Like you just because the motivation behind it is still has the same effect, and I don't think it'll ever get old.
Yeah, no doubt. Like that's what I would like talking about. Like the kids these days are say, "I'm him." I'm Himbalin. I'm whatever
Timothy.
Himothy, right? No, Neo came from the bottom where they shooting up and they do all they do, and then they grab their bag and clear up the bottom. They get upstairs and he's and he's in a helicopter and he's like, I'm bringing the smoke to you. Like he gets the guns and and I love how they show the shells just falling. Like that's just artistic. That's a great glass of wine. That's a chef kiss right there. As soon as you see all those like clips and everything just falling on the ground, and then like Morpheus get his strength and he's running like he's going, and then it's like that moment he gets shot in the leg, and then he's like struggling. He's like no, like that brief second, because Morpheus he would have been okay. Like y'all just go. My purpose has been served, but and that would have been fine for him. But that was not fine for Neo. He's like, he's not going to make it. And he jumps like, oh my God, jumps midair. And Morpheus is bigger than him. You know what I mean? And then don't even end there. He grabs him, finally gets him. They land. They have to find somewhere to land on a building. Great shot. But then all of that is going on. And then Trinity is still in the helicopter, bro. So then he's like, I'm not losing nobody today, bro. He wrapped that rope and he catches feet to the legs of that and catch her like, bruh, I ain't losing not one of my peoples today. Like bruh, the way he carried it, and then from that point on having to fight them and that whole fight in the subway. And then we got to see like a little bit of glimpse of this is a new advancement where we can see the agents can morph into different places based on like location. They can morph into people. So that was like a real good adage too. Like they didn't even explain it, like in this one. So with that subway fight, well, like you said, he's going, but then you see the agent getting the 3D hands going, and he's like, you see him like, I'm like, dang, he's killing him, like, throwing the damn down, like that's exactly what it's like, bro. And then it's just something about how Keanu Reeves runs. He has like a very interesting run. It's like, I really like, we already talked about how he has a face like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I'm confused. His run even has a confusion to it, like which is good, like in a good way, like because it's unpredictable. I actually like that. But yeah, like that whole thing, like I said, stopping the bullets and fighting with one hand and just seeing that green vision, like Ash said, the belief has grown. And at that moment, it's like, bro, I'm him. I'm telling bullets no. Like, now I'm gonna grab one and I'm telling him no. Then he goes inside of Agent Smith and explodes him, and the other two is like you want some of this too, old man? No. And they got up out of there, so man, that whole momentum, that is just crazy, because this movie is not just an action movie, but that's why I kind of look at it as a superhero movie in this world, this dystopian world of the Matrix. So before we get to the next section of our things, is there anything else y'all wanted to say overall in your notes, just something that you may have not got to touch on, you just wanted to speak to before we get into the character we relate to? No, everybody?
I think I had, okay. I thought I had two things, but I can only think of one. I'm sorry, you guys.
You fine?
I'm getting a little headache. I had to turn my light down, but I think that is super cool, the concept of them using computer hackers as the ones who, are, because the Matrix being like a computer system, it's almost like while they're hacking all these systems, they're reading the code and they're looking in between the computer code and they're finding something, but they can't figure out what it is. And that's when Morpheus reaches out to them. Like, I see what you're looking for, something. This is what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was super cool. And I think that's it. I think that was all I had that I didn't get to like really touch on.
Okay, well, maybe something will spawn it in this next section. Ash, the character you can relate to, identify with the most.
I'm gonna go with Trinity on this one. Just being calm and clear-headed. I feel like, and her offering that emotional anchor for Neo. I think that's me and a lot of relationships that I have. So yeah, I think I simulate some of those same qualities.
Not to mention being a badass.
Oh, that too. I held it down, but
No doubt, no doubt. What about you, Big G? What's the character you relate to or identify with the most?
I actually said Neo. And I said that because I guess I just relate to the idea of feeling like having this idea of being destined for something, like something more, not necessarily knowing what, but not always necessarily believing that it's possible. Not always being able to tap into like that self, that belief, but still desiring or having a sense that there is something more.
Okay. That's really good. I got Cypher. I mean this. I mean this wholeheartedly. Like, just
It's always you, Mo.
Huh?
It's always you.
I mean, I could win Neo, of course, but no, seriously, because it's this movie. Like you say, you're watching it again tonight. This movie, there is something about, like, again, for me, with the biblical undertones of this movie, and they're obviously they're doing something different, but it resonated for me in kind of my walk. And there's pieces of this walk that nobody told me about. There's challenges about this walk that it wasn't brought to me, and now people don't have answers for me. So now I'm forced to live in the red pill reality because I can't go back now. I know too much, and not in the sense that I would say, oh, trade it all, give me the blue pill, I'm gonna go scheme and undercut my people or something like that, or make me just erase my memory on some Men in Black type stuff. But like just understanding how he got there, his gripe, like he just so many days on the ship of just no happiness. It's dark all the time. We got to defend ourselves from these tech bugs and hit our little electrolyte thing. Just this is our life. There's nothing enjoyable, nothing fun about it. I understand how he got there, and I related to some of that concept a lot with Cypher. So definitely Cypher for me, with the exception of the snake behavior. Character. Get the stepping. The character you could do without. Ash.
Dozer. He was the older brother. He didn't really add anything. And he ran and got shot, but yeah, I said Dozer. He could have been gone.
Meg G.
I said Switch. Like, she was cool. I loved her white outfit. She was cool, but I don't remember what she did, like as far as adding to the story. And I was like, no.
Okay. Neo's boss or Mr. Anderson's boss. Like we get that beginning moment for nothing. Like I've been telling you, you've been late. You be late one more time. You're gonna, okay, I'm sorry. All right. Like we really don't need none of that. Like that. Like, yeah, we didn't need it at all. But all right. Lines that deserve to be slimed. Ash, what you got? You got something?
So I have a few. Tell me, Mr. Anderson, what good is a phone call if you're unable to speak? That was fire. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was like, oh, that was a savage bar.
It was.
No one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it. You have to let it all go, Neo. Fear, doubt, and disbelief. Free your mind. Stop trying to hit me and hit me. And that's it.
Okay, that was a really good. That was a nice lineup right there.
Yeah.
Mia G.
I only have one. I have there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path.
It's fire.
Yeah, that's a bar. For me, I got I wasn't really looking for him. I was looking for an answer. It's the question that drives us, Neo. It's the question that brought you here. That's from Trinity. Why do my eyes hurt? You've never used them before. Morpheus. That was real good. What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, that you can smell, taste, and see, then real is just electrical signals interpreted by your brain. So yeah, like that. Obviously Morpheus. I'm trying to free your mind, Neo. I can only Ash had that. If you here's the cipher line that I was looking for. If you told us the truth, we would have told you to shove the red pill up your ass. He the only person don't believe Morpheus telling the truth, bro. Like that, he's an interesting character, bro. And then lastly, there is no spoon. Yeah, I like that a lot. All right. Things that you would change about the movie or what they didn't get right. Ash.
I didn't have anything.
Oh, nice. Clean cut right there. Mia G.
All I had was I think they should have saved the love story for the second installment of the movie. I think it wasn't developed enough to end it that way. I think they could have developed it more, having seen like in the second film with them like knowing that they had been around each other more and
Premature for sure.
Yeah. I got a few things. I said really just two things. When Morpheus calls Neo after the tech bug incident, out of the belly button. He starts the call off by saying, "I don't have long. I know this line is tapped." Then proceeds to spill info about Neo being the one giving a location to meet. Come on, y'all. Like that was just a missed. Somebody that was like that wasn't tight on the writing. It don't make sense. This is tapped, but yet you're telling him a location. Come on, bro. I was just sitting there peacefully in like the broken down, you know what I mean, library of whatever that place was. And then lastly, when Tank is installing martial arts styles into Neo's brain after 10 hours of installation, he wakes up and says, "I know Kung Fu." That was so whack. You know way more than Kung Fu, bro. Why is that? What that was like? So that I felt like that was like a trailer line. Like it felt like a trailer line before they're gonna show like a little bit of clip of them fighting. I know Kung Fu. It was just like, duh. You know jujitsu as well. You know karate too. Like, bro, it was just every time I hear that line, I was like, get out of here. Like so, but it is what it is. Lastly, I didn't miss nothing. I don't think I missed nothing this time. I always do. But moral of the story, in your opinion, Ash.
So short and sweet, believe in yourself for yourself. And I say that because Neo didn't become the one because he was told he was the one. Like he chose to believe in that belief. So believe in yourself for yourself.
Believe in yourself for yourself. Nice.
Yes.
All right. Mia G.
Mine is very similar. Well, for the exact same reasons as Ash. Mine says, "You are who you think you are. If you believe you can, you can." For the same reasons.
Hey, I get that lens. I'm looking from a different lens. It's kind of tying up to some things I've been speaking throughout the whole thing. But knowing everything or being aware of everything doesn't always equate to happiness. Sometimes the less you know, the better. Sometimes your perception or belief is better than your reality. And bliss is just not always a bad thing. That's why I don't watch the news all the time. You know, I don't go through a rabbit hole of YouTube conspiracy people telling about what's to come. And I don't do all of that. I'm trying to protect what's left of the blue pill. You know what I mean? So, yeah, knowing everything doesn't always equate to being happy. And that's just shout out to Mario Winans.
No, he was wild, but yeah.
Boy, he was. But I understand it that I'm older. Like I don't condone it. I understand it. But
did you, bro?
Yeah.
Did you hear me say you are who you think you are?
Yeah. Oh man, there's somebody we've heard say that before.
Yeah, somebody said that. He's from Canada, but anyway, yeah.
Anyways, but enough about Canada. With that being said, y'all, again, see, we didn't even have to. It was already, you know.
Please do not. I already have.
All right, you're right. See, I told you should have worn the sunglasses. See, I knew. All right. Let's get on out of here. So, y'all know again, this is our superhero hero movie rotation of films. This time, of course, I've chose The Matrix. That's the first one. Yes, it is a hero movie. If you don't believe me, but I do think that. Now it is time for the reveal of the next film that we will be doing. And of course, this pick is now on Ash. We do not discuss this prior to getting on, so we are truly reacting in real time. Ash.
Okay, I had one in mind, but it's typical of me. I was like, nah, let me chill. So I ended up going back to 2008. This superhero wasn't necessarily a fan favorite. So I'm going to just say this.
Oh, Lord.
Call me an asshole one more time.
Oh.
Will Smith. We're going with Hancock.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. How did you just land on that as your decision?
I had one that was like such a layup, and it's so me. So I wanted to kind of switch it up. And I never think about Hancock when I think about superhero movies. So I was like, Six might be different and cool. And I'll talk about more like on the episode because my experience and things like that. But yeah, so
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. That was definitely one of the ones I thought about because I was like, that would be it can be an interesting film because to me, it's like a precursor to The Boys. To me,
I love that show so much.
to me, this is like the precursor. Like this is what it would look like for real. So good pick. Good pick.
Okay.
You looking forward to this?
Of course. Absolutely. And this is a movie I actually haven't watched that much and haven't seen in a really long time, but I did enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to watching it again and actually like diving into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, that is our episode, Stoop Kids. We thank y'all for tuning in. Of course, it has been a great, deep episode, to say the least. But we are glad to be getting in. The school year's about to start, so y'all know what time it is. Better get some fresh clothes. Get them. Trying to get our books and everything. Getting prepared for another school year. So y'all know how we got to do. But y'all reach out to us, childishgrownups3@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Instagram as well as YouTube. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace out.